All right. Let's see what they have to say today. We have a feeling we may know already, but we're going to wait and let them tell us, of course. They've put a lot of work into this case, and they absolutely deserve to be the ones to convey it. The community has also put a lot of work into the disappearance of Elijah Vue in so many ways. For people who do not know all of the details that what has happened here, I'm going to switch the screen in just a moment. So in just a moment, um, we'll be able to view the video while we watch, or while we listen, rather. Um, soon as this comes up, they're supposed to be started at 2 p.m. For anybody who does not know, we do have Elijah Vue's case file over at our website at themorningfeed.com. So you can go and check that out there. I'm just going to pull up our case file really quickly while we wait on them to go live for the press conference. Let's go over to our court feed and pull up Elijah. I'll go ahead and switch that screen over for everybody. So, for anybody who does not already know, like I said, you can scroll down here to the bottom and see our timeline. Elijah Vue, he was reported missing February the 20th of this year. So, he's been missing less than a year. But it will be, we're not too many months away from that being 1 year. So, they were able to locate him within under a year, but he was not located alive. So, of course, that was a devastating outcome. Katrina Baur, his mother, and Jesse Vang, his mother's boyfriend, that she has a very bad history with, at one time filed allegations of having trafficked her a long time ago before they got into a relationship. He was the one that actually reported Elijah Vue missing. Um, he was at his house at the time, and they were. It looks like we're live. We'll wait for them to actually get in front of the microphones here. But Jesse Vang was the one to actually report Elijah missing, as a lot of people know. But for anybody who might not, um, his mother Katrina Baur had sent Elijah over to stay with Jesse for the matter of discipline, to teach him how to be a man. Is what's been alleged in the documents so far. And the family is just so amazing, so determined, so ready to do absolutely anything that it would take to find Elijah. It's absolutely amazing everything they have done. So now we're just waiting for them to mic up everybody and get in front of the cameras, and then we'll make our screen a little bit bigger here so that everybody can hear what's going on. In fact, I'm going to test the audio really quickly and just make sure we're able to hear what's going on. All right. Let's just check this really quickly and make sure everything is working right ahead of the press conference. I appreciate anybody who joins us for this today. This has definitely been a long battle of trying to find Elijah. Very frustrating long battle where two adults are sitting in jail. They know exactly where Elijah is. I have no doubt about that whatsoever. And they have both refused to help with any information to assist in doing the right thing here. So that's highly frustrating. Let's go ahead and test the sound on this live stream.
Check. My check. You don't have to move yours because you need this area.
Right there? Okay.
Yep.
Try to get it right about here.
Oh, good. Our sound is
Elijah Vue.
working.
Elijah has been our top priority since he was reported missing on February 20th of this year. Since the discovery of Elijah's remains last month, law enforcement and the district attorney's office has worked diligently to bring those responsible for his death to justice. Today you will hear from Manitowoc County District Attorney Jacqueline LeBray. First name is spelled Jacalyn. Last name is spelled Ladre. She relays some important information in our goal of bringing justice for Elijah. After hearing from DA LeBray, we will not be taking any questions. However, you will be provided with a packet that will contain all the information that we can share at this time. DA LeBray.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. My name is Jacqueline LeBray, and I serve as District Attorney for Manitowoc County. Today, I want to provide an update on the tragic events surrounding the death of Elijah Vue. After thorough investigation by law enforcement, the Manitowoc County District Attorney's Office has issued charges in connection with the death of Elijah. Jesse Vue is being charged with physical abuse of a child, repeated acts causing death, hiding a corpse, and obstructing an officer. Katrina Baur is being charged with chronic neglect of a child, consequences death, child neglect, and obstructing an officer. Both Jesse Vue and Katrina Baur are presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty. A copy of the criminal complaint filed today will be available after this briefing, and I anticipate that a bail hearing will be tomorrow at 12:45 p.m. before the Court Commissioner in Manitowoc County. Bail will be set at that time, as well as an initial appearance schedule. This is an incredibly tragic situation that has shaken our community. My thoughts and deepest condolences go out to Elijah's family, who are enduring unimaginable pain. Elijah was a young boy whose life was tragically cut short, and his death has impacted not only his loved ones, but the Two Rivers Police Department, the Sheriff's Office, our partners in the FBI and Department of Justice Criminal Investigations, and other agencies who have worked tirelessly on this case. Our priority has always been to ensure a fair and just process, and today's announcement is a reflection of our commitment to upholding the law and seeking justice for Elijah. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the diligent work of law enforcement who has been investigating this case since the beginning. Also, the District Attorney's Office staff who have been working with law enforcement since the day Elijah disappeared. This has been a complex investigation involving meticulous review of hundreds of pages of police reports, video evidence, and other materials. The charges we have filed today reflect that diligent and thorough work. As we move forward with these proceedings, I ask the public to respect the legal process. It is essential to remember that those charged are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I also ask that the media and the public respect the privacy of Elijah's family as they navigate this heartbreaking time. While I will not comment further on the details of the case out of respect for the ongoing judicial process, I assure you that we remain committed to working with law enforcement to hold those responsible for his death accountable. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, DA LeBray. We'd like to thank the Manitowoc County District Attorney's Office, our partner law enforcement agencies, the Wisconsin Department of Justice, Division of Criminal Investigation, DCI, the FBI, Manitowoc County Sheriff's Office, as well as all the other agencies that have assisted us at the local, state, and federal level. In addition, we'd like to thank all the private volunteer groups that provided search efforts and resources, our community, our extended community across the nation for the continued support in our investigation and our goal of bringing justice for Elijah. As I stated earlier, we have a packet for each of you containing the criminal complaint, related statute excerpts, as well as transcripts from today's briefing that will provide you with critical information. We'd like to thank you once again for your time this afternoon. This will conclude today's press briefing. You can step forward and grab one of your packets.
Can you email the complaints as well?
I can. Let's take one of these.
All right, there we go. So we have charges against both Katrina and Jesse. I'm sure that is going to change a little bit of what their current, we have it on our calendar on the website, their current court dates. And I imagine that could change a little bit. They're going to need to speak with counsel, of course, about these new charges. I know a lot of people are going to be really upset, rightfully so, I understand. Are going to be pretty upset about the fact that there are not harsher charges. I definitely was disappointed about that as well. But this is not over yet. So I would encourage everybody to wait. And if not, if this is if this is what they are able to secure a conviction on based on the evidence that they have, then it's important that these are the charges they bring so that they stick and so that they can actually be brought forward. You don't want a situation where you're way overcharging and over alleging information that you don't really know if you can secure a conviction on. So it's not something that you really want to do. There are cases where overcharging can actually, it can work, because sometimes you need to give the jury an option between different charges depending on the circumstances of the crime. I don't find that this is a situation like that. A lot of the legal community I've talked to agree with that opinion, and unfortunately, this may be all that they feel confident in being able to bring forward. So, thankfully, they're able to bring this. There is too many cases where we can't even get this much. And get this much justice out of it. I'm really glad that everybody continued on. Their community in Two Rivers, they are solely responsible for keeping this front and center, keeping awareness out there, and the whole police community in Two Rivers, Manitowoc County, all the way to Wisconsin Dells. These were thorough, determined, very genuine, ethical people that were trying to find Elijah, between law enforcement, the family. I know that Katrina Baur, the mother of Elijah, she's really awful. So is Jesse, but the family has never stopped. Grandmother, aunts, uncles, cousins, you name it, they have all been on the ground, literally on the ground, ever since this happened. On a daily basis, they have done so many searches, and you can go on our website over here. When I scroll down here, you'll be able to see some of the searches I've mentioned before. These people, they search Shodo, East Twin River, the Charles and Winifred Spring area, Highway 10 from Whitelaw and Reedsville, Calumet County landfill, manholes, aerial searches, the Avery salvage yard. They had no information that he was in the Avery salvage yard. They just searched it to make sure it was searched. Waterways, they were searched with kayaks, with sonar equipment. They did everything they could. A 70-team drone search. These people worked, from the family to the community, law enforcement. They never stopped. The push, usually when you get a child Elijah's age in the media who's missing, you get a lot of people looking at it, putting out their theories, saying, I think this person. A lot of people usually start alleging the family did it. And, there's always that whole environment when it comes to a missing child. There really wasn't a lot of that with Elijah. But all the focus was exactly where it needed to be, locally, on the ground, keeping their feet moving, looking for Elijah. So it is difficult, and I know that all of the people in Two Rivers and in Manitowoc County who took part in this are upset that they don't have direct, straight murder charges. I know. And it's highly upsetting that somebody could do something like that and not be charged in that way. However, you also want whatever charges you do apply to stick. And so they are bringing forward the charges they believe will stick and that they can get convictions on no matter what. So give everybody in Two Rivers a little grace. They're doing everything they can to push this forward, and ensure that Elijah Vue gets any amount of justice they can possibly bring him. Um, Jesse Vang is definitely somebody who needs to be locked up for a very long time, maybe the rest of his life. If they could possibly get away with it, they probably won't get away with that. But he and Katrina, they have been involved with each other for a very long time. Katrina Bauer had previously pressed charges against Jesse Vang, and she alleged that he trafficked her. Now, this is back when she was involved with Elijah Vue's dad, who is also in prison. He has shown up via Zoom link at court hearings to appeal to the judge to keep them locked up, so that law enforcement could find his son. So he has shown up for Elijah as well from prison. But basically, Katrina Bauer and Elijah's dad, they were together at the time, and Jesse Vang was friends with Elijah's dad, more so associates, but basically Katrina Bauer alleged that Jesse Vang tried to traffic her, and then she later ended up in a relationship with him after Elijah's dad went to prison. So there's a really, really weird relationship. Not just weird. Weird isn't the right word for it. It's disturbing. It's troubling. The path, the trajectory that she was on, and taking her kids with her. There are also child neglect charges in relation to Katrina Bauer's other child, who she left in the vehicle out in the cold while she went in to have a hookup with Jesse Vang, who had Elijah inside of his home abusing him, teaching him how to be a man, allegedly. She went inside to meet him for a hookup, left her kid out in the cold car, didn't want to leave the car running because she didn't want to tip off anybody that there might be somebody in the car. She didn't want the lights on. So she went inside late at night for her little hookup with Jesse Vang, and not long after that, Elijah was reported missing. And there were photos on Katrina Bauer's phone of heavy bruising of Elijah, him looking to be in a pretty bad state and blindfolded. Because their theory was that Jesse Vang did not, and this is in their own words from their own text messages, but Jesse Vang did not want Elijah to see her, that he was blindfolded, and people are like, why was he blindfolded? Well, he didn't want Elijah to see Katrina, because that was part of the conditioning and the abuse and teaching him how to be a man. Access to mom and access to Elijah's toys were supposed to be only if he was perfectly well behaved. You might be asking yourself, what was going on for them to do this? Absolutely nothing that justified it. Elijah was getting into things. He's 3. Or he was 3. And now he'll always be 3. Because he was getting into things. Yeah. A 3-year-old. Imagine that. So anyways, I wanted to go live for this because we have been on this from the start, and I just wanted to make sure that we shared all of this with everybody. Um, I'm gonna have a more thorough episode that goes over these charges and explains basically what could happen with these charges and how far they can take this. But we'll come back and do all of that. I unfortunately don't have the time at the moment to do that. I wish I did, but we'll be back. either later this evening or maybe we'll do it tomorrow. But I'd like to break down some of this, especially for the people locally who may be feeling a lot of anxiety right now about the fact that these are the excuse me that these are the charges. Hang on just a second. Okay. Um so yeah, so for anybody who's feeling a lot of anxiety about the fact that these are the charges and there's not more, and I know a lot of people were expecting more to come out of this, but let's go over it. Let's actually talk about it and talk about what this could happen, what kind of penalties come with this, what kind of possible plea deals could be in the works if they happen to go that route. We'll break all of that down for everybody to kind of hopefully relieve some anxiety, even though I know we would all love to see both of them in prison for the rest of their lives for this, because that's what they deserve. They took the action that they did that led to this result. So, anyways, we'll be back to discuss this and break down all the charges, the penalties, the possibilities that could happen. Um, and we're sending a lot of compassion and a lot of care to Two Rivers in Manitowoc County today as they learn this information. All right, we'll be back. Thank you for joining us.